Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Ya Allah the Almighty, we humbly call upon you to spread peace and stability across all nations and to unite the hearts of peoples in mutual respect, understanding and cooperation. Ya Rabb, inspire and guide leaders and decision makers of all nations with wisdom, justice and vision, so they may work collectively in serving the greater good and advancing the well-being of humanity. Ya Kareem, bless this gathering and make it a meaningful step towards strengthened partnerships and constructive dialogue. Birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Wa sallallahu ala abdika wa nabiyyika Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ameen.
Dear God, when we began this conference yesterday, we prayed for your blessings, favor, and wisdom. And indeed, Lord, you have answered our prayers through the blessing of rain and good weather, tranquility and health, wisdom and understanding. As we discussed the myriad challenges, both known and unprecedented, within and without our borders, that face us today and how to move forward. We thank you, Lord, for every alliance made, every partnership cemented, and solution preferred. We thank you that we are forging pathways of continued innovation, unity, and collective action. Grant us grace, dear Lord, that though the threats may yet not abate, we shall continue to dialogue, to find pragmatic, homegrown solutions for the benefit of our institutions, our countries, and the people we strive to protect. We ask, dear Lord, that as we conclude this conference, that real and impactful change will be felt beyond these walls, that next when we meet, we shall recount our successes because of your goodness and your favor towards us. We are grateful and hopeful, Lord, through the mighty name of Jehovah El Shaddai. Amen.
With the permission of Your Excellency, sir, please be seated. Your Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, the Chief Host, General Mr. Nordin Haji, our host, the Deputy Director General present, the Cabinet Secretary present, all Chiefs, Director Generals representing different states and governors, all heads of delegations, the Principal Secretaries, invited distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is a good evening that today we are graced with our President, beloved Dr. William Ruto, for this closing ceremony. Your Excellency, I welcome you to Mashariki Cooperation Conference 2026 here in Kwale County. And with your gracious permission, sir, allow me to invite our host, General Mr. Nordin Haji, to come and proceed with the program. With a round of applause, let us welcome our Director General, our host. Karibu, sir.
Your Excellency, I apologize. I've been conferred a rank that does not belong to me. I'm not a general. But Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, and the Chancellor of the National Intelligence and Research University, Honorable Mvurya Salim Mvurya, Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports of Kenya, General Henry Wanzat, Minister Coordinator of National Intelligence, Central Africa Republic, His Excellency Ambassador Juan Antonio Bibang, Minister Agency of National Intelligence, Republic of Equatorial Guinea, Chiefs, Director Generals, and their representatives, former Director Generals of the National Intelligence Service, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We are greatly honored and pleased to welcome Your Excellency to this closing ceremony of the Mashariki Cooperation Conference 2026. We thank you, Your Excellency, for making time to grace us with your presence and for your continued support to this important initiative and for the permission that you allowed me and gave me to host my colleagues here in Diani, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the spirit of the MCC reflects your commitment to positioning Africa as an equal, respected, and influential partner in the global arena, as well as your Pan-African vision of shared prosperity. Notably, this year, Your Excellency, the conference has expanded its reach to include representatives from the Caribbean in recognition of our shared histories, common aspirations, and interconnected futures. The expansion of this conference is also reflected in the growth in our numbers, from 16 delegations in 2024 to 65 in 2025, and now we have well over 80 delegates in this conference, Your Excellency. This, of course, reflects the shared commitment to collective security and cooperation and the embracement of your vision, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, our discourse over the past few days has been shaped by the increasingly uncertain and continuously evolving global order we find ourselves in today. This called on us to reflect on Africa's security architecture, our strategic preparedness, and responses to emerging geopolitical dynamics. The evolving nature of terrorism, approaches to global resource competition, and the role of artificial intelligence. Your Excellency, in consideration of these areas, three notable messages stood out clearly. One, the time for reflection must now give way to decisive and collective action, and that no single nation can effectively address these challenges in isolation, and that Africa must urgently strengthen its internal resilience. This calls for the development of an Africa-centered security architecture that is proactive, adaptive, and firmly rooted in our shared realities and collective interest. Your Excellency, in this regard, I am pleased to note that the conference has moved beyond dialogue by identifying priority areas and concrete projects for joint implementation. Your Excellency, as we conclude, allow me to extend my deepest appreciation to all Director Generals for taking time away from their demanding schedules to be part of this important engagement. And we look forward to our continued cooperation and collaboration as we build on the momentum of this platform, Your Excellency. Further, I sincerely thank all the delegates for their active participation and valuable contribution, which have greatly enriched the outcomes of this conference. I also wish to extend our profound appreciation to our distinguished speakers and our Master of Ceremony, Dr. Julie Gishuru, I think, who will be here. And by the way, Your Excellency, she was my university colleague. We were university together, whose expertise, insights, and thoughtful engagements have shaped the depth and quality of our discussions. In addition, I wish to commend the organizing committee for their dedication and professionalism in ensuring the successful planning and execution of this conference. And Your Excellency, I also wish to thank you for allowing us to do this undertaking and gracing this occasion also. We are really indebted on your patronage and guidance. Your Excellency, it is now my honor and privilege to invite a few Director Generals, and we've picked one Director General from each of the regions, which is the East, South, West, and the North. And I would like to request the Director General of Ghana from the West to come and say a few words.
Your Excellency, President Ruto, Your Excellencies, Cabinet Secretaries here present, my brother, Dr. Nuruddin Haji, Your Excellencies, Directors General here present, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, permit me first to express our collective gratitude on behalf of the Directors General, all the delegates who attended this Mashariki conference, to express our gratitude for your patronage and of course for your allowing this ceremony to take place, allowing this, your support that you have given to our brother, Director Haji. Without this support of yours, this would not have been a success. We leave Mashariki conference this more strengthened in our determination to ensure that the security of Africa is our prime focus. Mr. President, allow me also to extend our appreciation to the organizers of the ceremony, also of the conference itself. One thing that I believe I stand on behalf of my colleagues to say is that we leave this conference more strengthened with a certain sense of purpose, of commitment to ensure that Africa, the peace and security of Africa, is developed in such a way that it is for our common good. Mr. President, once again, I wish to express our gratitude to you for the support that you've given to our colleagues from the National Intelligence Service and to us as your colleagues here. The last thing I would like to say, Your Excellency, Mr. President, is that Mashariki has demonstrated something to some of us, that Kenya is at the forefront of promoting regional peace and security in Africa. And for this, we thank you for your leadership. Thank you, Mr. President.
Your Excellency, I will ask the DG Uganda on behalf of East Africa, and since he's the most senior within the East African fraternity, to come and say a few words.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, we cannot thank you enough, sir, for the extraordinary support, the excellent relations which we are benefiting from because of your visionary leadership. Sir, I bring for you, Your Excellency, the warmest greetings from your brother, who is your father as well, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. He sends you his highest regards, sir. And Your Excellency, I feel so honored and very humble that after just about a month, when you gave me audience at State House, Nairobi, recently, today I'm with you again. I feel so humble. Sir, the last 2 days has given us a lot of new knowledge, We have acquired a lot from this conference, but as Uganda, Your Excellency, we have been benefiting much more than this conference from your leadership. We recently had some of our officers graduating from the National Intelligence and Research University in Nairobi because of your excellent cooperation and solidarity. Your Excellency, we have benefited from a number of collaborations with Kenya within the last few years when you have been president, just because of your kind heart and your spirit of cooperation. So in the last 2 days, I can summarize that we are going back fully empowered as far as geopolitical dynamics are concerned. And all of us now know clearly, much more than before we came to this conference, that geopolitical dynamics refer to the interplay of geographical, political, economic, military, technology, and cultural factors that shape international relations and influence power structures between nations. Currently, some of the internationally recognized great powers include the United States of America, China, Russia, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan. But as Africa, Your Excellency, this conference has brought us much closer together, and indeed now we look at the Kenyan Intelligence Service as our big brother in Africa. The National Intelligence Service has become a superpower in Africa. And Your Excellency, we don't take this for granted. We thank you so, so much. So we thank you again and again, because you may not know how much we are benefiting from this highest level of relations, the best cooperation ever we have seen. And as I conclude, Your Excellency, from this conference, we are going back knowing so well that the emerging geopolitical dynamics are mainly characterized by a shift from globalization to multipolar, confrontational, and multiverse landscape involving major powers of the United States of America, China, and Russia. Global geopolitics has undergone a significant transformation in the context of the new Cold War, marked by a gradual shift away from direct military confrontation towards economic competition, technological rivalry, and hybrid warfare strategies. Trade realignments, growing cybersecurity vulnerabilities, and increasing patterns of economic dependence. And all this play a decisive role in influencing our region's strategic orientation. Besides, strategic alliances, like we are doing from this conference, the Mashariki conference, the hybrid warfare mechanism, and rapid technological advancements greatly impact on the current order. Of course, there are many policies that can help in enhancing our regional stability and autonomy. And Your Excellency, as I conclude, and these policies could include strengthening of cyber security infrastructure, maintenance of diplomatic neutrality through non-alignment movement, the NAM, promotion of regional cooperation, and then trade diversification. Sir, through you, the best we are getting is from the Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Mr. Diani. And Diani has become one of our best partners in as far as security and intelligence is concerned. I have no words to thank him. I have no good way of appreciating him, because from the time he became the Director General of NIS in early 2024, the whole of Africa is not the same again. Through his ideas, through his kindness, he's very kind, and through his intelligence, he's very intelligent. And Aji, we are so grateful to you as Uganda, and indeed as Africa. Your Excellency, may God continue to bless you. May God continue to reward you, and we'll always pray for you. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, I will ask the next speakers to be very, very brief. I think since the DG represents the mzee of the region, I could not interject, Your Excellency. However, we only set the agenda based on your leadership, Your Excellency. This vision is your vision, just that we are here on your behalf to ensure that it is realized. The African agenda is your agenda, Your Excellency. I want to now invite the DG Zambia, who will represent the South. Just say very briefly a few words, please.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, ministers present here, may I simply say fellow heads of services and security intelligence services, and also all members that are participating in this conference this year. I want to ride on the protocols if I haven't mentioned any of those that have already been addressed by my colleagues. It's difficult to find what to say when Mzee has already spoken for another 2 or 3 minutes. But nevertheless, may I say that we remain indebted to this opportunity to be able to interact at this high level. Mr. President, it's the second time that I'm attending Mashariki. Last year we were together, we sat somewhere, and today again we sat. I was reflecting. This is quite enormous. The gathering of Mashariki represents an evolution from what we've been as an institution that looks into intelligence. We have evolved from spies to now diplomats and interacting with each other. And this enhancement comes by way of an opportunity like Mashariki Conference to enhance cooperation. We have realized that there's more to gain than to hide from each other. And this platform just enhances that sort of direction that intelligence organizations have evolved over time. Takeaways from this conference that we had, and I think that the DG Uganda has already run through, we've had an opportunity for high-level networking with global and African security leaders that are gathered this evening. We've been exposed to strategic thinking on intelligence diplomacy and policy and many other issues related to the work that we do. We have been exposed to practical collaboration on combating transnational threats that are common to all of us. We've had insight into future technologies and the challenges that they pose and the need for us to work together to find solutions. And hence, DG Nordin did indicate that we have a working group now that will work towards finding that solution so that we can have deliverables for the conference, even as we look forward to meeting next year. Otherwise, for me, and on behalf of my colleagues, in particular the Southern region, we really appreciate this opportunity to be able to come here. And DG, and through you, the head of state in Kenya, this is remarkable. We go back home with a lot of knowledge and memories of the good lessons that we've learned, and also the new friendships and opportunity to network that we have been provided, which otherwise we would have not been able to do sitting in our own capitals. I would like to say thank you once more, Mr. President and DG Nordin. Thank you very much to all of you.
Your Excellency, I now call upon the DG Algeria to come up. I don't know if there are any translators. I think you have the equipment.
Riche en enseignements, qui ont marqué la 3e édition de la conférence de
the third edition. I am pleased to, first of all, express our gratitude to the President of the Republic of Kenya for the special attention that has been given to this event, as well as for his commitment to cooperation in Africa against all challenges that we face today. I would also like to thank our dear brother, Director General Nordin Haji, the Kenyan.
D'année en année, comme une plateforme de consultation et de concertation constructive, et ne cesse de prendre de l'ampleur et suscite un réel engouement. Cette édition s'est distinguée par la pertinence de son thème, en parfaite adéquation avec les mutations profondes de notre environnement stratégique.
Environment that we have currently, we have also talked together about the different strategies that Africa is in place, and we have really discussed and really analyzed and talked about approaches that are going to enable us to work together and even share dynamics in our security architecture, where we see beyond borders how we can work together as exclusive actions against international fragmentations. And beyond the discussions, we have seen interactions that have brought us together and also enabled us to trust each other more. We also have results that we have talked about that are promising. We have come out with strategic reflections from this third edition, and we are going to have a dynamic for work that is well structured, and it's going to give us anticipation for responses that are well adapted. And ladies and gentlemen, the success of this conference is not just about the quality of the organization or the richness of the exchanges, in the capacity of the collective reflections that we're going to be able to continue. And it's now up to us to continue with what we have learned and to continue in this same energy and to come up with concrete initiatives for security, stability for our continent. I would like to thank you so much for your kind attention.
Your Excellency, finally, I will ask Minister Bibang from Central Africa to come and say a few words, please.
Su Excelencia, el Presidente de la República, Dr. William Samuel Ruto. Denise.
Distinguished Kenya, distinguished special guests, ex-general directors, heads of intelligence, and heads of delegation, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Allow me, first of all, to congratulate our host, my dear brother, the Honorable General Director, Nordin Mohamed Haji, from the Intelligence Service, National Intelligence Service of Kenya, for the excellent organization of this conference. For the third time, we have celebrated the same conference, and allow me also to recognize the importance of promoting the spirit of cooperation among the different intelligence agencies in the entire world, and particularly in Africa, in order to find answers, specific answers, to the challenges, the common challenges faced by our states. At the same time, I would like to express my most sincere gratitude for the generosity, hospitality granted to the delegation of my country. Excellency, delegates, it is a real privilege to address you today in this important meeting dedicated to strengthening our collective security through our sectors, which is intelligence. Today, security no longer is limited to borders. It is interconnected, is dynamic, and it is more and more complex. Challenges such as terrorism, rebel groups, trans-border crime, marine pirates, and trafficking in people. This has led to a fragmented answer to conflicts, together with the increase of other complex threats. In order to face these challenges in our states, there is the need to generate trust among institutions beyond borders and beyond the communities we serve. Without trust, the work intelligence efforts run the risk losing legitimacy and effectiveness. This conference provides a platform, a valuable platform for dialogue, collaboration, and innovation. Let us use it in order to exchange ideas, strengthen alliances, and develop strategies, feasible strategies that protect our nations and their futures. In order to conclude, I encourage all of you, and including myself, to remain committed, agile, and together in our mission. The challenges are very complex, but together our determination and cooperation will always be stronger. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
I would just like to bring to your attention that we have other friendly services from other countries like Japan, we have Belarus, we have Brunei, Malaysia, we have Pakistan, India, UAE, the US, the UK, Russia and China, Portugal also, amongst others. With those few speeches, Your Excellency, and presentation, I think there is a small video, right? There's a small a video that will be played before I have the honor of inviting His Excellency to give his closing speech. So you can play the video.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Welcome to the future. It is an honor to stand before you in this remarkable year of 2126. 100 years ago, a bold idea was born on the eastern shores of our continent, that intelligence, shared freely and applied ethically, could unite humanity. That idea became the Mashariki Cooperation Conference. 2024, we have grown into a network of over 175 nations. Africa is no longer a spectator in the world agenda. We write it. We lead it. Collective intelligence, human and artificial, has dismantled cybercrime, secured entire digital continents, and harnessed quantum AI to cure diseases, reverse ecological collapse, and simulate solutions to crises no single nation could compute alone. The challenges ahead: autonomous swarms, deep space cyber incursions, synthetic biothreats, and neural link exploits move faster than human reaction. Mashariki endures, not to fear the future, but to architect it. We deploy predictive AI, adaptive quantum networks, and collective defense grids to safeguard humanity. Your Excellency, with pride, gratitude, and optimism, I welcome you to the Mashariki Cooperation Conference 2126. 100 years of proof that when Africa leads with vision, the world follows with trust. Karibu sana.
No nation can attain its development ambitions without a firm foundation of peace and security.
It is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you to the third Mashariki Cooperation Conference 2026. year, we do so building on important gains achieved through the previous conferences. Our task now is to consolidate and hopefully expand these gains.
Intelligence today isn't just about monitoring enemies. It includes understanding the socio-economic pressures that lead to instability.
If you look at trends now in this continent, most of the trends really focus on Africa being a playground of a game that is played elsewhere. And it's important that the outcomes of this conference turn Africa from a playground to the real players in international security.
This year's theme, Emerging Geopolitical Dynamics and Africa's Security Architecture, is not only timely, but also important in making us reflect on the forces shaping Africa's evolving security environment.
Military intervention without a credible political process is at best a pause in fighting, and at worst, a prolongation of it.
I now have the singular honor and privilege to invite His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Please be upstanding.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Thank you very much. Distinguished heads of intelligence and security services, leaders of regional and continental institutions, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the government and people of Kenya to welcome all of you to this beautiful city of Mombasa, here in Kwale. Just by way of understanding, Diani, where this conference is taking place, has been voted 8 consecutive years as the best beach destination in Africa. And Director General Haji made the right decision to hold this conference here so that you can sample the best of our continent. Two references have been made of Director General Haji, and he has been assigned the rank of general, and somebody else has also assigned him the title of doctor. To avoid any confusion, I am the one who confers the titles of generals. And I don't remember conferring one to Haji. I have not also, because I know a few things about Haji, I don't know where, I don't think he has attended a PhD class unless there is one he is going through now. But because it has happened, I will need some intelligence on how this actually happened. And I think I'm in the right forum. And the intelligence chiefs here will help me to find out how this happened. But having said that, as we bring this Mashariki Conference, Cooperation Conference 2026 to a close, I extend my sincere appreciation to each of you for your presence, your insights, and your steadfast commitment to the shared purpose that has brought us here together. Your engagements here reflect a collective resolve to advance peace, strengthen stability, and accelerate progress across our respective countries, our continent, and very well beyond. I especially commend the Director General of the National Intelligence Service of Kenya for his leadership and the meticulous organization of this conference. The Mashariki platform continues to grow in stature and relevance, and the milestones achieved thus far are both notable and commendable. Over the past few days, you have engaged with depth and clarity on the realities shaping our security environment. You have critically examined a world defined by shifting geopolitical dynamics, rapid technological change, and the increasingly complex transnational threats. As we all know, these are not isolated developments. They are interconnected forces reshaping the global and continental security landscape. The central lesson you must take away from this conference is very clear. The challenges we face can no longer be contained within national borders. Our security is shared as our vulnerabilities, and our responses, therefore, must be shared as well. Strategic partnerships are no longer optional. They are indispensable, and in fact, a necessary imperative. The bilateral and multilateral engagements that have taken place here must now translate into sustained cooperation. Kenya remains committed to convening and supporting such platforms because dialogue, coordination, and trust are the foundations of lasting security. This conference has also reinforced the urgent need to strengthen Africa's security architecture. We must build systems that are responsive, that are adaptive, and capable of anticipating risk, not merely a reaction to it. This requires deeper strategic alignment, stronger institutions, and deliberate investment in our collective preparedness. We are operating in an era in which climate change, terrorism, violent extremism, and technological disruptions intersect with national security in very profound ways. These are complex and evolving challenges, and they demand coherence in thought, and coordination in action. We must act with vigilance, act with focus, discipline, and a clear sense of shared purpose. I am particularly encouraged by the emphasis placed on intelligence as a pillar of governance and statecraft. As a policymaker and consumer of intelligence, I recognize and deeply value the critical role your agencies play. Intelligence is not merely about threat detection. It is about foresight, it is about precision and strategic clarity. Your institutions safeguard the continuity of state. They protect our constitutional order. They provide the insight that enables governments to anticipate risk, respond effectively, and align immediate action with long-term national interests. At the continental level, intelligence cooperation strengthens our ability to address transnational threats, reinforces stability, and builds confidence among nations. Even when leaders cannot speak, even when communication breaks down, talk and to engage. That is where the difference is made. Equally important, intelligence enables discreet engagement, opening channels that complement formal diplomacy and support the prevention and resolution of conflict. Platforms such as this one are therefore not merely gatherings. They are instruments for shaping the future of our collective security. And I know as this conference grows, there will be greater networking, there will be greater sharing of knowledge, experience, information, intelligence for the security of all our countries. It is not always that you find a meeting of many intelligent people, because I do not think it is possible for anybody who is not intelligent, who is not intelligent, to be an intelligence officer. I think the first, I am sure the first benchmark of an intelligence officer is that they must be intelligent. And because I have many of you in this room today, I will want to seek your support and help in solving some of the challenges that I have. And I am going to give you 3 assignments. And I suggest that you write them down. Or at least Haji will give you a clip of my statement. Number 1, many of you come from our continent. In fact, this Mashariki Cooperation Conference is a meeting of many intelligence leaders from our continent. Africa is at a reflection point because Africa will have a quarter of the world's population will be living in our continent by 2050. And 2050 is just 20 years from now, 20-something years from now. we will have the largest workforce in the world coming from this continent. Because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we will have the largest single market in the world in this continent. And we have resources and we have assets. We have 2/3 of the world's remaining arable land. I was told by the former president of the Africa Development Bank that the future billionaires will be farmers. That is why I'm trying farming myself. And aside from that, we have huge mineral and natural resources in our continent. It is both an opportunity and a risk. Because of what I have said about our continent, there is need for thought leaders. There is need for intelligence leaders to think about how we are going to organize ourselves. My colleagues, heads of state, gave me the assignment to work on the reform of the Africa Union institutions and organs to make them fit for purpose for a time as this, as we look into the future. I can tell you without an iota of doubt that Africa Union, as is today, is not fit for purpose, is not fit to provide the leadership that this continent needs going into the future. And therefore, there is need for the reform of the Africa Union. I am asking of you, as intelligence leaders, to assist us to figure out what kind of Africa Union that we need to be able to unlock the potential that exists in our continent and the opportunities that we have, so that as we march into the future, as we become the single largest market, as a quarter of the world's population live in our continent, we take advantage of that position, because otherwise it can pose a major risk for us. We need, and I want to tell you that there is a lot of resistance to the reform of the Africa Union. And we must work together for us to have an organization that is fit for purpose, that can represent our continent appropriately, and that can steer this continent into the future. My assignment to you is to assist us as leaders in this continent, and I know that many of you speak to leaders, presidents in our continent in some very personal way. For us to unlock the future of our continent, we need a fit-for-purpose Africa Union. We will be making proposals on how this is going to happen, and we want to work together towards making that Africa Union an organization of the 21st century. The second issue I want to give you as by way of assignment is that as a continent and as a people, we must begin to believe in ourselves. We must believe in this continent. In this continent, there is enough for us to prosper. There is enough for us to grow wealth, create jobs, create opportunities, and develop our continent. Too many times, we look for solutions outside this continent when actually the answers are right here in our continent. Whether we are talking about markets, whether we are talking about jobs, whether we are talking about resources, they are right here. I will give you one example from Kenya. As I landed in this place this evening, about 200-300 meters from here, we have a huge block of housing. There was a place here called White House. We now have built housing units for the people of Kenya. We are building 240,000 housing units. We have had challenges of informal settlements. We've had 7 million Kenyans living in slums and informal settlements, and we want to sort it out. We have been subdividing our agricultural land for settlement. We want to change that. We want to do land consolidation instead of land fragmentation. And we didn't look for a solution outside Kenya. We found the solution right here. We have signed contracts of $4 billion to develop housing in Kenya, markets in Kenya, hostels for our university and TVET students in Kenya, using our own domestic resources. I have had occasion to discuss this with my colleagues in this continent. And I want to persuade you that as Africans, we need to take charge of our destiny. We need to mobilize domestic resources. There is no free lunch. Yes. We look for solutions elsewhere. If anybody gives you any money, there cannot be money for free. It is either a debt or something else, but you will pay someday. Finally, let me give you one more assignment. We have resources in this continent. We have assets in this continent. We still continue to export our resources because sometimes we do not have the support from financial institutions to support our own processing, our own capacity. I want to implore on you as intelligence officers that as governments, as African governments, it is important for us to develop African African financial institutions, to invest in African financial institutions. It is good to have the World Bank. It is good to have the IMF, but we need more capacity. We need to put more money in Afri-Exim Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, Africa Development Bank, Trade Development Bank, multinational African institutions. I will tell you why. One African entrepreneur, let me mention him by name, Aliko Dangote from Nigeria, has built among the largest refineries in the world in Nigeria. He couldn't find any financial institution to support him. It is the Afri-Exim Bank, an African financial institution, that gave him the money to develop that refinery. I want you to go and find out. You are intelligent people, you are intelligence leaders. Why that was the case. So, my ask of you is, we need to put our money in building the capacity of African financial institutions. That is how we are going to develop this continent. I thought that I should give you these 3 thoughts for you to assist us as a leadership in this continent, because it is the only way that we are going to tap into the potential of this continent going into the future. And I speak from a position of knowledge. Africa stands at a decisive moment. The choices we make today will shape the trajectory of our continent for generations to come. Our core responsibility is to strengthen cooperation across borders, build resilience and capable institutions, and pursue a shared vision of a secure, stable, and prosperous Africa. The true value of this conference will not just be measured by the quality of the discussions that have gone on here, but by the strength of the follow-throughs that will come after. We must now translate insights into action and commitment into sustained implementation. As I conclude, I thank you once more for your service to your countries, your dedication, and your contribution to this important dialogue in this cooperation conference. Kenya remains committed to partnering with you and as a trusted convener in advancing peace and security across our region and continent. I must commend the Director Generals who have spoken on behalf of colleagues here. I was telling the Director General from Ghana that when President John Mahama visits Kenya, I have real problems tracing him around Kenya. He has too many friends, and he is half Kenyan. I know that can give him problems in Ghana if people discover that he's half Kenyan. But anyway, he's having his second term, so there is no problem. And sometimes I have to resort to intelligence to find out where he is, because he has this friend in this place and that friend in that place. And that is the brotherhood that we have built as a continent. Our Director General from Uganda has spoken about our father, Mzee Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And just for your information, I spoke to him this morning, and we are discussing about how to harness the opportunities. We are going to have a meeting here on the 23rd to discuss how to industrialize our continent using our resources. Yes. And that is how the future is going to be made. I wish you all safe travels back home, and I wish you continued success in your responsibilities and in your duties. Thank you very much. God bless you, and my very best wishes.
Your Excellency, sir, only one photo. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. With the indulgence of His Excellency, he has allowed me to take a one-session photo. I will invite all the Director Generals on stage, kindly.